Surrounded by law enforcement, Luigi Mangione returned to New York from Pennsylvania this week for the first time since investigators say he assassinated United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in Midtown Manhattan. The 26-year-old suspect faces state charges, including murder as an act of terrorism.
As we see nonstop coverage of the Luigi Mangione United Healthcare CEO story,
I'm not gonna lie, this is how you can tell the news is owned by billionaires, because the news was like this devastating, terrifying, harrowing attack in New York. And I'm not saying, look, a murder did take place. I'm not saying that it couldn't have been those listed as those things. I'm just saying you're the news. Like, you are the mainstream media. You play horrific stuff all the time. You're the same news that when those pages were going off on those people in the Middle East exploding, you were like, check this out. Isn't that wild?
one of the best comedians out, Josh Johnson, puts it all in perspective. First, from the lens of the media.
Brian Thompson's wife told NBC News that her husband had been receiving threats and alluded to them being tied to insurance coverage. Yet Thompson was walking alone with no security when the gunman who laid in wait to shoot him attacked him heading into the United Health Group Investor Day meeting. That tragic shooting comes as executive security has already become a bigger focus for major companies.
Now, it appears billionaires and billionaires are taking action.
CEOs were like, what? What happened? Oh my God. Oh my God, are you serious? And they didn't know each other? Kids, he just did that in broad daylight? To one of us? CEOs started making moves, man. CEOs of all the healthcare companies started taking down all of their profiles. All of their LinkedIns were just back to factory settings. And look, I need to be clear about something. I mean, you're gonna glean this off of me the entire time. I don't want anybody to die, right? I don't celebrate death in any way, right? But I will say, if you feel in the wake of this thing happening, like you have to scrub all mention of you, all knowledge of your existence off of the internet, then maybe, just maybe, take a look at how you do business, take a look at the person. Do you know what I mean? Because
which Johnson shares his thoughts on. As always, he hits the nail on the head.
We have been concerned about the rhetoric on social media for some time.
And that's against CEOs, that's against the government, that's against leadership.
We've seen narratives of hate. We've seen narratives of anti-government sentiment. We've seen personal grievances, and the language of violence accompanying or being a part of those narratives is something that we're very concerned about. That is a heightened threat environment. I still am alarmed, though, by the heroism that is being attributed to an alleged murderer of a father of 2 children on the streets in New York City.
United States Secretary of Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas, spoke to CBS Mornings on the current environment. Meanwhile,
and the CEOs as well, when you look at this guy, you look at this dude, I don't think anyone was ready. I don't think the news was ready. I don't think the police were ready. I don't think the rich were ready for how on the shooter's side the public was. And so out of it, you get these CEOs, you get these rich people going on the news and really campaigning, being like, look, the CEO, this man was a father, this man was a husband, this man, and they really appealed to the humanity of this CEO. And there were people who heard that appeal, and they said, yeah, no, I know he was a person, so was my cousin. So was my brother, so was my sister, so was my friend. You know what I mean? This man had children. He leaves children behind. This is a senseless death. It did not have to happen. And it's like, yeah, no, I know about I know about avoidable deaths. You know, I'm a customer.
Bingo. Johnson puts it better than most do, and unfortunately, this message has been lost on cable news.
Luigi Mangione faces 2 murder cases, state and federal, in connection with one killing of the United Healthcare CEO, Brian Thompson.
What many will not say about Brian Thompson, the comedian Josh Johnson, does. And it's important to understand why.
We know that murder is wrong. We know that death is a tragedy, right? Because to me, personally, when I look at any death, when I look at any killing in that way, I personally look at it as a loss and a tragedy, because as long as someone is alive, there's potential. There's potential to turn things around. There's potential to change. And then if you lose that potential, then your story gets cut short and maybe things would have turned around. I'm not saying that they would have, but the thing that we're all wrestling with is that a murder did happen. Someone killed someone in cold blood. They just didn't kill an innocent man. Do you know what I mean? That's also what feels so conflicting about it. Like, a killer killed a killer. This dude was the CEO. A lot of people died under his watch, through his policy, through what United Health does.
See, corporate America, capitalists, etc., will not view Thompson and other healthcare CEOs as just that, but it is unequivocally true to say they are. These are people controlling our lives by sucking the dollars out of our accounts so we have a chance of just living.
Our mission and values are focused on helping people live healthier lives and making the health system work better for everyone.
Johnson also touches on Thompson as in the actual person and how his own company seemed to care less.
But this dude, make no mistake, he was a killer. He was such a good killer that the company was like, damn, Brian. Damn, you cold-blooded. We need to make you CEO. Wow, you don't care. You don't care at all. Women, kids, you get them all. Wow, Brian. He got promoted the way a gang member becomes a leader, you know? Brian was just a representative, by the way. That dude just is one of the dudes. Nothing changed. He's one of the dudes. And he can be one of the dudes because the system's already there. A system, by the way, who didn't care about Brian either. That man was headed to a meeting when he was murdered. And investors still had the meeting. That's how it works. They were getting notifications on their phone that Brian was outside, and they were like, ugh, so the minutes.
And they did start on time. It was a wild revelation to learn that shows how they devalue even their own co-workers' health.
All of this is deeply troubling for corporations worried about the security of their top executives.
Right, Wolf, and the security posture for top corporations has changed dramatically since the shooting. And that's happening at the same time that support for the suspect has grown so much that it's translated into marketing opportunities.
Johnson unpacks this sentiment as well, and it's vital to understand the why here again.
When you put like that much profit over the person, you were also lost in that thing, right? And I think that's a harrowing thing. I think for CEOs that was like a terrifying moment, because it was the first time that they saw that we see them the way they see us. Do you know what I mean? That's gotta be scary. Because for them, make no mistake, for them, we're not clients, we're not consumers, we're not customers, we're not even users. None of the names that they put in their reports, none of the things that they say to their shareholders, we're numbers. We're an account number, we're this thing. Which is why when we go away, when we disappear, when we die, it doesn't really mean anything to them. Because they never really saw us.
It's because we all have a story. It is quite literally uniting in a time of great political division. Our shared grief in losing loved ones in a for-profit system that is dependent on gouging us to damn near homelessness, if not death, is relatable. Josh Johnson is a fantastic comedian, by the way, that deserves your support. Please check out his YouTube channel, his Instagram for more clips and posts, TikTok where he has over 1 million followers, congrats to him, and his website, joshjohnsoncomedy.com for tour updates. Hey, I appreciate you watching. Now, if you can, please do become a channel member by going to youtube.com/tytsports and clicking the join button. If that's too much for you, you can just go to tyt.com/join to become a member. It helps all of us out here at the Young Turks and keeps our network afloat. In addition, you could follow me on my socials on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate the love. Have a great day.